Well, I didn't finish writing my script, so I think we're just gonna wing this one. So, here I am again. It is MG Seymour from Bears Can Write and www.bearscanwrite.com. Back here again today to share a different kind of video. I just got a new speaker, so we're trying that out today, seeing how that speaker sounds and works out for everybody. Next will come the camera, and next hopefully a better setting for the videos. One thing at a time though. In other news, the book released yesterday, and that was excellent, and thank everybody at the reunion at Lincoln Oaks Golf Course at Crete, Illinois, to thank you for all your support and help. I'm sure a handful of them will watch the video, and hopefully some more will start trickling in as time goes on. Today's video, per the description and title, is not a review video as much as it is a, here it is, this is my inspiration. One of my big inspirations for writing the ballad. And I feel like I had to do this video fast and hopefully less than 20 minutes, hopefully less than 15. We'll see how things go. I took a handful of notes, and I actually have the movie here with me. So the title of the movie is Kelly's Heroes. If you have never seen Kelly's Heroes and you're a fan of World War II movies, you absolutely need to watch this movie. If you don't want to hear spoilers, if you don't want to hear a literal entire breakdown of this movie and what parts I took and what I didn't, then click away right now. Stand by for some better videos, different videos, things that don't include movie and book spoilers, which this channel is going to include. You've been warned, so here we go. Kelly's Heroes is, to me, what writing should be. It's a movie came out in the 1970s, so back then in the 70s, it was on the big screen. Clint Eastwood, Lee Marvin, Don Rickles, Donald Sutherland, just a handful of names. You can Google them. I'll link the pictures in the descriptions. I'm sure you all know who Clint Eastwood is. Either way, Clint Eastwood plays Kelly, sergeant or corporal, I believe. He captures a Nazi officer, a major or a colonel, and he's going through all his stuff in the beginning of the movie, and he finds documents on this German soldier. And at first, you feel it's a World War II movie, and you're like, oh God, you're either a fan of it or you don't like World War II movies, and you're just doing this with a friend. So you're sitting there like, oh my God, when's this going to be over? Or you're interested because it's a World War II movie, and you're like, okay, here we go. Let's see Clint Eastwood kill some Nazis. This is awesome. But that doesn't happen. Instead, Clint Eastwood's character finds a bar of solid gold, which this is the 1940s. And in the movie, they do explain how much that gold is worth modern day compared to the 1940s. Soldiers back in World War II did not make that much money. A bar of gold is enough to make anybody stop what they're doing, put down whatever it is that they had on their mind, and stop and listen. So Kelly finds this bar of gold, and he decides to do what any good American would do, and he gets the German completely wasted. And the comedy is there in the movie. It's at first you can tell there's riffraff amongst the other soldiers in the platoon, and he gets this German completely tanked. The guy's lit in like 20 minutes into the movie, and Kelly's trying to get information out of him. And this is a young Clint Eastwood, so it's a good scene. And eventually, the German leaning on the side finally says that how many gold bars are there? And the German goes 14,000 bars of gold, 14,000 bars of gold, and Clint Eastwood just freezes right there, thinking that's unbelievable, because of how much money that is going to be for him. Now he's the only one in the American army who knows that this gold exists, a little bit behind German lines. I'd say, maybe 15 miles behind German lines. So he captures this German, and the German's army is coming right there. They're flying down the line, and their lieutenant orders a retreat. So their unit retreats, and Kelly gets out the last second. He leaves the German, and it's awesome. The German ends up getting blown away by his own guys as he stumbles back intoxicated, and they just light him up with a machine gun because they had no idea who he was because Kelly took off most of his uniform. So, and he sees this happen, so he knows that now this secret's dead. This is the guy that knew about the gold. Nobody else knows about this gold. But he got the specifics of who was guarding the town and what, and I'll get to that soon. So it introduces the lieutenant and the general in this movie, and this is where my mind kind of exploded as far as me watching this when I was 16, 17 years old in high school. Watched this movie that my dad showed me, and after I saw it, I was like, wow, I was so sucked in at this point, because it's still World War II, and it still felt so much like World War II, even though it just completely at this point goes off the beaten track. It completely goes from soldiers trying to win the war to we got to get this gold. So Kelly introduces the idea to one of his friends, a sergeant in the unit, and he's like, no way, don't do it. He introduces it to the other guys, and the other guys are like, oh, we're absolutely doing this. So he gets a group of about 7 or 8 guys. Again, this is not a specific movie review. I'm going to kind of blow through it here. He introduces a few extra characters, and he then assembles all these guys in this little barn area, and the lieutenant leaves to go get a boat. He was bringing a boat to Paris because he's a lieutenant, and he found a boat. And they say, oh, well, yeah, he's just going to go take his boat to Paris. And this is in the middle of a war. Why is he able to do this? Because he's the son of the general. Now, the general is a complete jackass. The general is one of those glory-seeking... he's a great character. The general's an excellent character. He's kind of a fool. He's kind of dumb. And he's wants to know why nobody can push through these German lines. So... Kelly goes to the supply guy, and they start introducing a few more characters. The supply guy, and he starts talking to him about what he needs. He needs a couple Shermans, or no, he needs armor, he needs trucks, he needs jeeps, he needs weapons, machine guns, mortars. He needs stuff. He's going behind enemy lines. It's gonna be a big deal. So he's gearing up for this thing, and it's awesome. So he's like, what's in it for me, Kelly? And he pulls out the gold bar and hands him the gold bar, and he's just like, oh my god. And he's like, how many of these do you have? And I think at the time Kelly has 3 of them that German was carrying, because the German took them, but the rest are all sitting in the vault behind enemy lines at a bank. And this whole time they're talking, right around this time, they introduce this character who's sitting up top in the bunker, and this is kind of where the movie just completely takes off. The supply guy, who I'm not going to connect actors' names with any of these people because I really want everyone to see this movie, but Oddball speaks, and Oddball is sitting up top in the rafts of the supply warehouse, just in the middle of Paris or France somewhere, and he's like, I got 3 Shermans if you need them. Shermans can give you an edge. And he's this weird 70s hippie kind of guy. The actor who plays him is unbelievable. He's excellent. This is so believable. And he's got these weird little misfits of guys. He's got 3 Shermans. Shermans meaning armor, tanks. He's got 3 of them in his unit that's been separated, and most of his unit's been destroyed because they're in the middle of combat. Their unit got separated, and they're kind of just hanging out with the bulk of Allied soldiers, so they just happen to be sitting there. They're kind of a missing unit. So here they are sitting there, and he's saying, I heard your whole conversation. You know, if you want some Shermans, I can help you out. Say you split it with us. Clint Eastwood eventually accepts this, and this guy, they come up with this plan. Historically, this is after Paris, I believe, was already liberated, hence why the lieutenant was bringing the boat to Paris. And for my story, I saw this and thought, this is unbelievable how it's going right along with World War II. It's following almost perfect along World War II, and none of this happened. None of this stuff happened. Clint Eastwood didn't fight in World War II. Sorry to spoil that for anybody. But it was incredible to me watching this as 16 years old, like thinking, okay, World War II stuff's supposed to be like super accurate, and it kind of opened my eyes to the historical fiction genre. And I come to realize that movies like The Dirty Dozen, which is another one I'll go through one day, Saving Private Ryan, even certain movies follow historical accuracy, but then they veer off in certain directions in order to provide either cinema value, entertainment value specifically, which is kind of what I've done in some of my book, as well as giving you an overall idea of World War II combat and tactics of soldiers, which is excellent to see. In this movie, even that has it very much. There's a few engagements with Germans. There's an excellent minefield scene where they're using the they've all got their the M7 bayonets, and they all the sergeant's ordering them to use the bayonet to find the mines, so that the scene is intense because you're not sure if anyone's gonna find one, or if anyone's gonna bite it, as one of them states, who bit it, because one of them gets hit and completely blown to bits with the mines. So either way, as the movie goes on, they eventually fight in this town, and this town battle scene happens, and it's incredible. The big key at the end is there's 3 Tiger tanks, and they get caught up at a bridge scene, and when they get caught up at the bridge, right before they enter the town, 2 of the Shermans get knocked out, so they lose 2 of the 3 Shermans, so Oddball Sherman is the last one left. I won't go into detail about the modifications he made to these Shermans because I'm gonna save that for the movie. It's all good stuff. It definitely takes that historical fiction aspect and just takes it way, way above the level that I took it, and that's for sure. So, the general catches wind that a group of soldiers has broken through the lines, and this general is just so excited, and he's happy, and he's like, yeah, we're doing it, patch me into them, get me the radio communication. And he has no idea that these guys are going for gold. He has no idea, and the lieutenant is gone. He's just like doing his thing with his boat, so he's not even in it, so there's no command in charge of anything. Clint Eastwood is in charge of this entire outfit. So, and then he's got these Shermans, so it's 2 different units connected together in order to get this gold. The general has no idea that that's what they're doing. So the general finally contacts them, and he hears them talking back and forth and cover fire and push up, and I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm pushing up. I'm getting to where we need to go. And they don't state the goal. They have these codes that they use over the radio because they know that people might be listening, which in fact they are. So it's smart on the soldiers' point for not actually saying, let's go get gold. They're not saying it out loud. Criminals in general, but characters in movies tend to not be that smart and do certain things. But in this case, they cover their tracks very well. And the general is just overwhelmed. Get me my uniform. Get me my staff and my glasses. And the general gets all dressed up, and he's like, I'm giving every one of those men a medal. And at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the way it's going. And eventually, they get to the gold, and they start unloading the gold. And there's a whole engagement with the German Tiger tanks that are interesting, and a sniper scene that's excellent as well. Again, if you have not seen this movie, turn this off right now and go watch this movie, and then come back and turn this video on. It's not going anywhere. YouTube's not going to copyright infringe me. So, I have seen this movie maybe 30, 40 times, and it's just as good, if not better, every time. The ending is excellent. The general shows up, and the Germans are out of the town by that point, and the people are celebrating. They're kissing the soldiers, and these guys are like, okay, we gotta go, and they're loading the gold up real fast in the back of this German truck, and they all take off, and the general pulls up right after them, and he's just like all excited, and right at the last second, Clint Eastwood points to the general and goes, that's the guy right there, and all the French people are freaking out, and they run to him, they surround his car so he can't even see this Jeep pull away with all this gold on the back. I think it translated into $14 million, which in our standards today is probably triple that. So you're talking abandonment and, treason to the military for somewhere around $30 to $46 million, split between maybe 10 people. that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's in gold too. So it's only going to become more valuable as time goes on. This isn't dollar bills. This isn't German marks we're talking about. This is straight, solid gold bars that these guys got their hands on. The ending is perfect. It just leaves a great feel, and I wanted that so badly. So I didn't base any of my story off of this movie. None of it is based off of it. But the feelings, the emotions, and the taste it leaves at the end is what I wanted badly for the Rifle series in general. As far as the ballad goes, and as far as the next 4 books that are on the way right now, I truly wanted to have that same feel. Go watch it. Go watch it. Either way, that's all I had to say there. I should probably do the whole basic YouTube thing, like and subscribe. If you haven't liked and subscribed, then you should like and subscribe. No, but seriously, you should like and subscribe. Like that, right? Is that good? Okay. Again, this has been MG Seymour with Bears Can Write, and thanks for watching.